Had days when praying feels like a burden, when opening the Bible doesn't bring peace, and all you feel is emptiness, as if God is distant, as if something inside you has gone out? If you're going through that right now, take a deep breath, because I've been there too, and what I discovered in that desert completely changed my walk with God. Maybe today you feel dry on the inside, but let me tell you something. Even in the dry, God is still there. And in this video, you're going to understand why this season, no matter how hard it feels, might be one of the deepest moments of your spiritual journey. We grow up believing that if everything is right with our faith, we'll always feel God's presence, that praying will feel light, that reading the Bible will bring comfort, that our spiritual life will be a constant source of peace. But what about when it's not? What about when praying becomes exhausting? When you kneel down and it feels like you're talking to yourself? When everything that used to feel alive now feels dry, heavy, and colorless? That's when fear shows up, and doubt, and that question no one likes to admit. Is there something wrong with me? You start wondering if you've lost your faith, if maybe you've disappointed God, and that's why you feel this emptiness. But let me remind you of a truth you might have forgotten. Spiritual dryness is not a sign of failure. It's part of the journey. This phase, as uncomfortable as it feels, is more common than you think. A lot of people go through this, but very few talk about it. And those who stay silent suffer alone, believing they're the only ones. But you're not. And more than that, this is not the end of your faith. It might be the beginning of something much deeper. In the Bible, the desert was never a mistake. It was never a punishment. The desert was always preparation. Moses spent 40 years in the desert before leading the people to freedom. Elijah ran into the desert when everything felt lost. And even Jesus, the Son of God, was led into the desert before starting his ministry. Do you know what all of them had in common? It was in the desert that God made them stronger. Spiritual dryness may feel like a punishment, but it's actually fertile ground for something new. It's where God removes our emotional dependencies to teach us how to walk by true faith. There are seasons when you feel a lot, but there are others when you're invited to trust, even when you don't feel a thing. And that kind of faith can't be shaken by passing emotions, because the absence of feeling is not the absence of God. It's space. Space for Him to work without distractions. Space for you to grow in places no one else sees. What changed everything for me was realizing that God's presence doesn't depend on what I feel. During my spiritual dryness, I tried everything to feel something again. Loud worship, sermons, reading, fasting, but nothing seemed to work. It was only when I stopped trying to force a feeling and started simply showing up, even empty, that everything began to shift. I began to pray differently. I'd say, God, today I don't feel anything, but I'm here because I know you're still here even when I don't sense you. That simple act reignited a flame, weak at first, almost invisible, but real and alive. It didn't happen overnight, but little by little, I began to discover that the dry is also sacred, that God works in silence, in absence, in dryness, and that my faith had to be built on truth, not on feelings. If you're feeling spiritually dry, keep going. Keep going even without the desire. Keep going even without the feelings. Because that too is faith. God isn't punishing you. He's training you. He's teaching you to walk by conviction, not by emotion. He's shaping a faith that doesn't depend on mood or feelings, but one that endures, even in the desert. It may seem like nothing is happening, but inside you, something is being born. A kind of trust that doesn't break over time. An intimacy with God that isn't based on what you feel, but on what you believe. Open your Bible even when the words feel cold. Pray even when the sky feels like iron. Because God is listening, and He is there, even when it feels like He's not. The desert will pass, but you won't come out of it the same. You'll come out stronger, more mature, closer to God than you've ever been. If this message found you in the middle of the desert, know that it's not by chance. Maybe this is the reminder your soul needed to keep going. God hasn't abandoned you. He's teaching you to walk by faith, not by sight. And when you least expect it, the rain will come, and the dry soil of your heart will bloom again. If you're going through this, leave a comment below. I'm living through this spiritual dryness. I want to pray for you. And if you know someone who feels the same way, share this video with them. Because even in the silence, God is still there.